Hello everybody, today's VJ Day, the day when we celebrate Japan's surrender at the end of the Second World War, with all the celebration and rejoicing that brought to people in so many countries. There's an iconic picture which epitomizes that joyfulness, that celebration, that new freedom that the people hoped for at the end of many years of struggle and sacrifice, and it was taken in Times Square, and at the time nobody knew who the particular people pictured were when Life magazine first published it. These were just anonymous people, but it became a picture that people wanted to know who it was, and it turned out that the sailor is Jorge Mendonça, who had just returned on leave from the Philippines, where, among other experiences, he'd seen the damage done by two kamikaze planes, Japanese planes, causing horrendous damage to hundreds of American sailors. And he'd observed the skill and the courage of the nurses who'd gone to their aid. He was on a date with his future wife, Rita, and the film was stopped. The movie they were watching stopped, and the surrender of Japan was announced, and everybody rushed out of the theatre into Times Square, and he went up to the first nurse that he saw and gave her this huge smacking great kiss, much to the amazement of the nurse, whose name turned out to be Greta Zimmermann, and of his wife Rita, his future wife Rita. Actually, as it turns out, the nurse wasn't anything to do with the war. She was a dental nurse who just started her training, but he thought that by giving her this kiss he was celebrating all that the nurses and the servicemen together had done to bring about this victory. It's a picture which has got such a big backstory, but it makes us realise that Rita, the future wife, standing in the background, Jorge Mendonça, Greta Zimmermann, they've all got a backstory that the picture itself doesn't tell you. Makes me remember how often it is when we see information or pictures about people in public that we don't know what's going on in the background of their lives, personal things which could well be influencing their mood and the decisions that they make. And it's true when we meet people in our daily lives that we don't know the full story of what's going on for them, what might be affecting their mood and why they say what they do and how they behave. And so today I think I want to just be aware that when I'm making judgments, as it inevitably one does, about people, that there is so much that I don't know, and that I need to make allowance for that fact. And I expect all of us would hope that the same kind of allowance is made for us if our behaviour reflects more what's going on privately than what is seen publicly. That kind of tolerance for each other would lead to a much easier and harmonious relationship between us, I'm sure.